I do want, though, to call on my colleague Mike Waller, who has been very actively involved in political warfare strategies, their study, their analysis, their practice in a variety of academic institutions, and is currently the Vice President for Government Relations at the Center for Security Policy, just to sort of tie in how influence operations by the Chinese are, you know, sort of the twin sister, if you will, of what Sasha was just talking about on the information operations side. Mike?
Thank you, Frank. Yeah, Chinese influence operations is more of an inherent strategy that they have, where pretty much everything they do is in one way or another an influence operation. And many of those influence operations are designed to have psychological effects on us, each of us. Our whole decision-making leadership, the people behind that decision-making leadership, all the way down to our children. If you look at some of the children's movies now that are produced, you see some very strong China regime support elements in certain children's cartoons and popular movies. So you see it throughout our culture and throughout every aspect of society. So let's just to go down through a few of them. They want to influence, like any influencer does, how we perceive them, how we perceive their regime, and how we perceive ourselves. In this case, their regime is permanent, advancing, invincible. We are not. Therefore, we should kowtow to what they want and need. How we understand ourselves. So perception, understanding, how we understand them, which is why they have certain types of censorship and why certain publications are not available in certain languages, even in some of our own publishing houses. And then how we act. So this is our own personal actions, policy actions, how we develop our strategies and so forth, what we say and what we do not say, and what we do and do not do is all of very great importance to the People's Republic of China leadership. Now, Rick Fisher touched on this on a global military influence, so I won't get into that. So it's not just happening to us, but it's happening globally, worldwide, and it's affecting our traditional alliances as well as ourselves here at home. But you look at the money side of it, everything sort of goes on money, but American business, other Western business, banking, trade, construction, manufacturing, technology, you name it, those are all positions for the PRC and the Chinese Communist Party to exert influence on our CEOs, on our privately held corporations, on corporations seeking either to do business inside the PRC or seeking Chinese investment in their own business models. That is all something where there is a political price to pay or a policy price to pay for advancing that business. Or a silence for advancing that business. And then you have media. We'll go for the news media. It's pretty obvious. We have the Washington Post as one of the main, its printing presses are one of the main printing presses of Chinese communist propaganda in the United States, because the Chinese pay the Washington Post to print certain of their publications here. You have denial, censorship, disinformation, propaganda, but you also have, more importantly, arguably, is social media, which reaches everybody, every man, woman, and child practically in the country. It's search engines, Google. It's the byproducts of those search engines and social media like Facebook. All the visual stuff, all the usual stuff, plus direct intrusions into our own personal lives. So they can now go into our own family information, our own private information, our likes and dislikes, into our medical records, into our DNA records, into our, and when you marry this in with artificial intelligence and the facial recognition technology and all these other emerging technologies, you're going to see a control system that the PRC is going to be able to use remotely to affect every single one of us for this generation and beyond. Oh, wait. I will say, though, there's a bright side to this, which is they want us to think they're invincible, but they're really not, and there's a lot of neat things we can do to stick it back to them.